took a stroll on the old long walk. Hey, met a little girl and we stopped to talk. Fine soft day. And I asked her friend, what's a fella to do? 'Cause her hair is black and her eyes are blue. And I knew right then I've been taking a whirl around a sawtill prom with a Galway girl.
I was just looking at there. There's he's got that sticker there. Yeah. Do you know the dog?
There's
Oh, really?
because I've got to get it.
Yeah, well, it's. I think it's big. Going to hang around here. Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yes, I think you don't know all those little things. Yeah, true. It's just
enjoy this.
Noble room with capacity inside.
Go sit down to Stephanie. Go kick her shit.
See. Well, when they said Damien knew everyone in Gisborne and they knew him, I thought he was joking. No mai, haere mai. Welcome as we celebrate Damien's life. Thank you also to Damien's family for giving me the honour of being his celebrant today. Welcome to those joining us via live stream. And on this sad day, we all need to dig deep. Dig very, very deep, in fact, because we owe it to Damien and his family to reflect on the wonderful achievements of this young man. A special thank you also to the army of people that have stepped up to the plate over the last week in every imaginable way. It's blown the family away with your generosity. It's timely also to reflect on the lives of two other young men, Elwood and Taina. They were with Damien on that fateful day. All full of hope and great expectations, as we all have when we venture out to fish or hunt. Three families and a whole community reeling from the events that evolved from Sunday to Tuesday. Our hearts and condolences go out to them and their whānau. To Damien's wife, Vivian, and his children, Madison and Harvey, his dad and mum, John and Mandy, his brothers, Brad and Carl, mother and father-in-law, Jim and Sharon, we extend our heartfelt condolences. The great outdoors can be a very unforgiving place. We know that when we venture out. We take all the precautions, many of them subconsciously. The things that we have learned from experience, however, Mother Nature can be cruel, and she was that day. It's not my intention to give a blow-by-blow on the days that followed. We all followed the events closely, but we do need to thank all those emergency services. New Zealand Police, the Air Force, New Zealand Coast Guard, Eastland Rescue Helicopter, and all the friends and volunteers. There were many others that wanted to get into the water and help, but couldn't because the weather precluded them from doing that, and the family really appreciate the way the community rallied around them. Thank you from them all. These people all put themselves in some degree of danger, and they did it willingly, knowing there were risks. Damien was a bundle of energy. I didn't personally know him, but I feel I do now. Blimey. He made the ever-ready bunny look like a slouch. His mum and dad shared Damien's life with me, and I was staggered at what he had already achieved. Right from when he was a younger man, Damien was on one great mission or another, always ready to give things a go, never afraid of the challenges and sometimes the consequences, and often while carrying recent injuries, his zest for life was infectious, and the grass was never going to grow under his feet. Whether he was shearing, dog trialling, playing rugby, refereeing the game, snowboarding, farming, and a brief foray into becoming a farrier just to see if it was his thing, he relished a challenge, and right to the end, he and Vivian had a few more on their bucket list. Nothing was out of his reach. He entered into plumbing and gas fitting apprenticeship, and like everything else Damien got involved with, he did it to a very high level. Although Dad John said he was a bit of a ripshit and bust artist, but he definitely was not slap happy. Damien could get along with anybody. He had no preconceived ideas. When you first met him, it was pretty safe bet that you'd like him and he'd like you. You'd have a friend for life. He did, however, have a very good BS meter, and so not everyone made the cut. Damien was a mentor as well. As well as a friend, he spotted potential in people even though they couldn't see it in themselves sometimes. And some of them are in this room today. They all owe Damien a gratitude of thanks for pointing them in the right direction. And this was Damien paying it forward. In his formative years, he was surrounded by many good mentors, and he soaked up what he could get from them and their advice, and that made him what he is today. Damien was most comfortable outdoors. It was his happy place. He was never going to be a desk jockey. When Damien left school, he had visions of going into graphic arts via a uni degree. It supported his ability to draw and paint. However, he missed out on a place by 1 unit. So his dad suggested he look at farming as a career. Damien wasn't 100% sure about that, but he said, what the hell, let's give it a go. Long story short, he borrowed a couple of dogs, and in no time he was pointing out to his old man how he could expand the farming horizons. He always respected his dad's farming ability, but he could see the potential the farm had, and John said he was right. John said he also respected Damien's ability to farm. He actually pulled me out of my comfort zone, he said, and we were a great team. I'd like to ask Damien's mum and dad, Mandy and John, to come up and deliver a eulogy for Damien.
Damien John Macpherson, one of the best. The hallmark of Damien's life was absolute commitment to a huge number of things, always busy getting things done. Even the birth was busy, with not one, but two. That continued throughout life. Go hard or go home. Damien was never content to do one thing, wasn't content to be a plumber, needed to be a farmer. Wasn't content to run one farm, he needed to run two. Wasn't content to play rugby, he needed to coach it. Not content to attend Rhythm and Vines, he needed to help organise it. Never content to go through gates, he would jump fences. And on top of that, he did it bloody well and never half-hearted. A bull at a gate, never afraid to make a mess. Tools everywhere, but he got the job done. Born on 7th of January 1986 in Gisborne Hospital, Damien was the second and smallest of the twins, only to be distinguished between his twin brother by a huge purple mark on the top of his head, which took several weeks to disappear. From then on, it was anyone's guess who was who.
Damien caught up to his brother's weight in no time, and the competition proceeded throughout their years. If it wasn't sheer commitment to beat his brother, it proceeded to be a battle of wits. Then along came Carl. When it came to hijinks, Damien was often the thinker, Brad and Carl the doers. The milestones of Carl's younger years were pushed along by his brothers. On one occasion, the twins took Carl for a bounce on the trampoline in a cardboard box with a cushioned mattress to comfort him. A less than ideal outcome, for as the box flew through the air, Carl's leg shot out of the box and broke his ankle. Damien started his education at Rugby School, then went on to Gisborne Boys High, boarding at the rectory where he made many lifelong mates. His network of friends was immense, and he accumulated as many friends as he did hobbies, as evidenced by all of you being here today. After school, Damien went on a dabble at many things, as we've just heard, shearing horses, qualified plumber, fitter. He said he didn't want to stick his hands down toilets, up drains and crawl under houses for the rest of my life. So I mentioned having a go at farming, and then he never looked back. Damien came to Tuahu, followed by Vivian. The suggestion was made by me that if he stayed working here for the rest of his life he'd be stuck with my bad habits. Best you think about going to work somewhere else. It just so happened that a dog trial Graham Cook suggested Damien come and work for him, which he did, and in no time was giving Graham orders on how he should run his farm. They had so many fun times together, those two. True to form, Damien was ready for his next challenge. Chatting to our bank manager, Damien's refereeing mentor and great mate Hamish Campbell over a beer, he mentioned wanting to lease a farm. Hamish said, "Why not commit and buy?" And Damien helped make it happen. A few months later, we had the Tikaraka block, and a challenge it was. The kids got together and renovated the house to its impeccable standards. Damien moved on to getting the farm in tip-top shape, with huge involvement from father-in-law Jim, which led to starting the venture of D&V Macpherson partnership with wife Vivian leasing Sharon and Jim's property up the Waimata. Not content to run the TK farm as sheep and cattle only, Damien and Vivian went on to revive the orchard and selling of fruit at flea markets, and so it went on.
When it came to family, Damien showed his single-minded dedication. It has been our greatest joy seeing Damien become a husband to Viv and a father to Maddie and Harvey. So patient, kind and fun. Those kids adore him. The family became his world and he effortlessly blended his hobbies and family life. The kids got a taste of all the things he loves: hunting, farming, fishing, drawing, and he picked up a few new hobbies along the way, like face painting. He showed a massive commitment to the community through coaching the kids' soccer teams, being on the school board, and helping organise the fundraisers. Helping his good mate Jerry Cook run the straight hunt course for the dog trials at Whatututu, and more. Always willing to lend a hand if someone needed a job done, no matter how big or small. There are so many people who touched Damien's life and supported him in many ways, many endeavours, and for that we thank you. Joe the Pom, Nanny Sue, the grandparents, the cousins, the boys who brought him home, and many more. You all know who you are, and thank you for everything you have done. I am sure at some point Damien has returned the favour. Thank you to everyone who has been here for the family over the past week and for those who pulled together to make today happen.
Damien has been a huge part of the driving force behind what we have achieved to date, always challenging us as parents and a family. We are so proud to be parents of such a loyal, driven, hard-working go-getter and caring friend, father and son. We will miss you.
Thanks, guys. Right, it's now time for those nearest and dearest to Damien to share their tributes with us. And first up is Crack. Now, I thought that was a spelling mistake. I said to my wife, maybe he's a builder. But he ain't. So wherever you are, Crack, it's your big moment, mate. That's not the mental picture I had.
Oh, hello everyone. Don't really need to introduce myself anymore, obviously. So I've just been asked to speak on behalf of the Poverty Rate Trials and the Whatututu Dog Trial Club, which Damien was a member. Damien and Viv have been... Sorry, mate. Damien and Viv have been a part of the Whatutu Club for about 10 years now, and Damien was one of the best club men you'd ever meet. Club working bees, he would have already smashed out his own farm work in the dark before getting to the grounds, and he would greet everyone with a "How's it?" a big smile from ear to ear, and a firm handshake. A couple of years after at the club, he was put up the straight hunt with Jerry Cook. To be sure, there was never a dull moment with those two up there. They would come back to the clubhouse giggling away about one of Jerry's jokes. He's probably repeated three times already. Yeah. And then one day, Damien, he showed us all how to do some impressive donuts in front of the clubhouse. The next day, Tucker Broaden was on the lookout for whoever had done it and made the big mess, and by the end, and in giving Damien and myself a steering competition while he was giving his post-trial speech. Damien was the sort of guy you could ask to do anything with at the working bees, working sheep, chipping thistles, cooking the barbecue. He also ran some pretty handy dogs, Bess, Pace, Tui, Tilly, just to name a few. He achieved great prices whenever he sold a dog in our local sale as well. Often during the trial season, you would see Damien and John around the local trials and be greeted again with a "How's it?" and two massive smiles. John and Damien both had distinctive but similar whistles when working a dog. It was only by looking to see who was running that you'd know who it was. One of Damien's proudest dog trial memories was getting in the centre runoff at Ngātava with John, with Damien's dog Pace and John's dog called Face. Both of those dogs were littermates as well. Damien's last trial was at Whangarā Centre Champs this year, where he is in the runoff with a good friend and mentor, Graham Cook. Damien and Tilly taking home 5th place that day. Damien, mate, it's been an honour to know you, trial with you, and we'll miss you, mate. Just miss the "How's that?" and the big smiles and your energy around the clubhouse. Rest easy, mate.
Thanks, bud. Hamish. There's probably about 100 of you now. I don't know which one it is.
Now, I just have to apologise. I was told about 5 minutes, but I work for a bank, so I'm going to add a bit of interest on, if that's okay. Right, where are the glasses? Good afternoon. I'm Hamish Campbell, and this is Royce Maynard from the Poverty Bay Rugby Referees Association. Damo joined us in 2014, funnily enough, by his own volition. I say this because usually one of our guys will normally have been pestering a prospective candidate for some time before we finally get into a meeting. Not Damien. He turned up, and as we said earlier, he was keen to have a go. Typical of his personality, I reckon. Outside my comfort zone, be damned. Did Damien even have a comfort zone? I don't think so. I'm not going to lie, I was a little bit apprehensive about him. While I knew John and Mandy, didn't really know the boys outside some of the pretty wild stories I'd heard about them. Which, to be fair, even if partially true, was stuff that legends are made of. So you want to become a rugby referee, Damien? You do understand what you're taking on, eh? You could be running around in the pouring rain and mud for 80 minutes, trying to look like you're enjoying it, without ever actually getting a chance to run the ball. Then when the game finishes and the teams leave the field, patting themselves on the back, you're left standing in the middle, looking like a spare prick at a wedding. You will try and learn the rule book that no human in the modern world will never fully understand. A document that changes every time the All Blacks start getting too strong. And you'll have to look totally confident that you actually understand it. Have you considered taking acting lessons before you take this on? Also, various players will try and convince you that they actually mastered the law book. Somehow, possibly through telepathy, as they would never have actually read a word of it. You will also need to accept that 30 players on the field think that your one eye needs a visit to Specsavers. You'll also find out that your parents, according to various sideline experts, weren't actually ever married. And according to 50% of the players on the field at any given moment, you'll be making the wrong decision, picking on them, or simply favouring Ngātapa. You will find that before the game, the teams will beg you to let the game flow. And then as soon as they kick off, they will start yelling at you every 2 to 3 minutes, begging for a penalty. Is this the mission you want to take on? Thankfully for us, he did, with a bit of a push from Mandy, I think. And the rest is history. His refereeing record locally is second to none in this millennium. He's refereed every Premier final since 2016. He refereed the 2017 Jock Hobbs Under-19 final, awarded to him after a faultless display in a semi-final between Auckland and Canterbury. He said that semi-final was his most memorable game and led to him making the New Zealand referee squad in 2018. He controlled 8 first-class games. I hope that's right. Yeah. Breaking his leg after his second Heartland game knocked his confidence, and though he did games in 2019, in his mind he felt his leg wasn't right and he wasn't maintaining the high standards that he set for himself and pulled out of the squad. At a New Zealand level, he was held in such high regard, I understand his place in the squad was left open for another 12 months in case he changed his mind. To do what he did at the Jock Hobbs tournament showed the measure of the man. In the week preceding, he had a game that he described as an absolute shocker, and his head was all over the place. Before he went away, Royce and I sat him down and we re-watched the game together. He started to pull that game apart and considered what he could have done differently, and we could see his confidence returning. He has this incredible self-awareness, mental strength and discipline. He was a coach's dream, a sponge. You could talk about a focus each week, and then the next Saturday he'd go out there and absolutely nail it. People also probably don't realise the time and commitment that went into for him to be in the national squad. There were regular Zoom meetings with his national coaches, which included re-watching games and self-assessing. He would then send his own notes along with the video clips of his games, which they would then review and discuss over a couple of hours. This was often after an early start and late finish on the farm. He was also expected to make regular trips to referee games outside the district where he would be assessed. He had exceptional fitness and would lead the training nights, always pushing and encouraging the others, but always from the front. In terms of his own game management, he had a way to get the best out of everyone he engaged. He had an uncanny understanding of what teams were wanting to do and would look to facilitate this through his ability to let the game flow. He maintained excellent relationships with captains and players, plenty of them here today I see. If players acted positively, he would thank them and congratulate them. If he made a mistake, he'd own it, apologise and move on. And players accepted it because it was Daman. He also didn't let laws interfere with a good game, knowing when not to apply them. So, why are we here, all of us? because while our association has lost a valued member, we have all lost a massive mentor, leader and friend who cannot be replaced. For our group, Damien has set the bar so high that it will take an Everest-type climb for someone just to match him, let alone surpass him. We are the lucky ones because in this world, people like Damien are rare commodities. We can all be grateful to have had the opportunity to play a small part in such a big life. Damien, it's been an honour and a privilege for us to have known you. Before I finish, can I just ask those that have got a part of our referee fraternity just to please stand. Great, thank you guys. Thank you.
Jim and Sharon. We need a bit of Viagra in this thing, mate.
See if I can help.
Hey, you might be just the remedy, mate.
Welcome to everyone. We're here to pay tribute to the life of our Damien. I'm Sharon, as you know, Damien's mother-in-law. Thinking back to 2007, Viv came home one day and she said she'd found someone that she really likes. And his name is Damien and he's a twin. And I said, what? Is that one of those Macpherson twins? I knew she'd have a lot of fun, but I hoped that it was going to be in someone else's house. We met Damien and we instantly liked him. He's become a very important person in our family. And we could see by the way they looked at each other that there was something special happening. And that grew into the great love that we know that they had. Things I wanted to say have already been said, so I'll just go straight to my end. We cannot change the outcome of this tragedy, but I want Damien to know that we will be taking care of his Vivian and his little children, and we'll do all that we can to help mend their broken hearts.
Hello. For those that don't know me, I'm Jim Hall, Damien's father-in-law. I want to say a few words on behalf of the Hall family. Damien came into our lives some 17 years ago. He stole our Vivian's heart but gave us back a family, another son and 2 lovely grandchildren. All the time I've known Damien, there's never been a bad word between us. And that's more a reflection of the man he was rather than who I am. Damien always stepped up to the task, shaped in the Rukaturi to work hard, play hard. His skill set was huge, as you've already been told. Be it dogs, shearing, farm work in general, sporting, or most importantly, family and friends, he always gave 110%. Damien and Viv are people of such quality that they attract an incredible group of friends around them. And I want to thank those people for supporting Viv over the last week or so. I know you're also sharing the pain. To all those involved in courageously searching last week, the pilots, skippers, ground team, and the wonderful support by Darren Paki and his police, Thank you from the bottom of our hearts. In all my years in search and rescue, I've never seen such a response. Yeah. Thank you also for those who organised the typical Macpherson party for his homecoming last Saturday night, for building him a coffin fit for a king, as you see before you. A coffin that's been personalised in many ways through the efforts of my wife in the wool lining inside, the chap he did his plumbing apprenticeship for doing the pipe work, and his apprenticeship mates and Bruiser doing the woodwork. It's a work of art. For transporting him from John and Mandy's home up the main road to TK on a huge leader brand quad track tractor and trailer surrounded by his mates. Typical Macpherson way of getting there. I want to thank also those Ngātapa sporting groups of which Damien and Viv were a big part with their rugby, refereeing, hockey, and lately the kids' soccer teams and coaching. There's so much more to say, but my words will be so inadequate to fill the giant hole left by Damien's tragic early passing. The size of this gathering speaks louder than I can about the respect and integrity of the man we are so proud to call our son-in-law. Damien will be with me until I die. We were such wonderful friends. Rest easy, mate. We'll stay here to talk further.
Viv.
Firstly, there is literally no way I can thank everyone for the support we have received during this time. It means the world to us, and we have been overwhelmed by it. It's exceptionally hard to sum up this man, but I will try. I remember meeting Damien when I was 19, fresh back from overseas. He would tell you otherwise, though. He said he met me and Penny at a nightclub when we were 17. He asked me for a dance. I said no. So when we officially met, I 19, he 21, we were in the same party circle in Gizzy. Probably the only party circle in Gizzy. We were fast friends, staying over in Anzac Street and laughing our heads off. I remember just us sitting in the kitchen, and he put the soda stream over his mouth and turned it on. He just made me laugh so much, so I had to do it too. A few months later, on Queen's birthday at the Patatahi Hall, he plucked up enough courage to kiss me with a hay bale on his back. Although I fought the magnetism at the start, it was clear there was not an hour of the day I didn't think of him. Kudos to him, he had to work very hard for it. His strong willpower and persistence got him through many months of courtship. He won over my cautious heart, and once given, he had it for keeps. His strong willpower and persistence didn't quite transfer over to the proposals. He made me wait 8 years before proposing. He did get out of the dog box, though, because he proposed on top of a mountain, like Anchorman. 1 year later, we got married. A little surprise in my tummy derailed any hopes of a long honeymoon exploring Canada. Not one to let an opportunity go by, He and Mandy organised a honeymoon anyway on a cruise ship through the Caribbean. Thank you, Mandy. At 31 years old, Damien became father to a baby girl, Madison. The next chapter in our love was even greater. Damien thrives under pressure, so 19 months later, Harvey arrived. As you can imagine, being such a funny, authentic, good soul of a human, this transferred into the way he fathered. He was the roof over our heads, the fire in the hearth, the blanket on our shoulders. He really was the foundation to our world, and I am grateful that we got to spend so much time together. As many of you know, Damien had knee surgery 9 weeks ago and was on crutches for 6 weeks. During this time, I had the pleasure of taking the whole team of dogs and attempting to complete some mustering on the farm, including our brand new lease block. For around 1,000 hectares, this is officially the shortest crash course training in history. It won't come as a surprise to you how much we adore the land, and our happy place is on the farm. We were always thankful for the time we had at Rukaturi and Rangatira, but we could never be thankful enough for the opportunity we've had at TK. We've loved working hard on the land, and Damien felt like he had really made his mark on this place. I would like everyone to know that we had a very happy life. Whether it was chipping variegated thistles that were taller than me, or doing a shearing run at 5 to 7 a.m. in the morning before the kids got up. While on the farm this week, I stopped and noticed the sun on the hills. They were just so green. It was a pure moment of awe. That moment is a tiny pinprick of hope. I encourage you all to find these moments of hope and awe during this time. I would like to end with words to you, Damien. You may remember them as they were from our vows. You should know this, Damien. It has only ever been you.
Jock and Mike.
Hello everyone, I am Jock Garnham, a great mate of Damien's. Brad and Damien were my first ever friends. We met each other at Rikaturi Playgroup at the age of 2 or 3. Went through Rikaturi Primary and Gisborne Boys High School together. So lucky to have him by my side. Even more lucky to have stayed good friends after school and right to the end. Damien was the best person I've ever met. Kind, loyal, hard-working and all-round good bugger. This is thanks to the way John and Mandy raised him. Amazing job, you two. Because he was such a good bugger, he could get away with being quite mischief, which was one of his favourite things to do. On our summer holiday family trip to Mike's in Northland, Damien and I were to pick up our families from the airport. We overindulged in beersies and drank a bottle of rum. We ended up sleeping in and being an hour late to pick up our families from the airport. We'd done a quick grocery shop where things were still very fuzzy, but got it done. We picked up our families and didn't even get growled. Even I wanted to growl us. So lucky we got to jam 10 lifetimes of fun and good times into the last 37 years. So lucky. Raising our kids together has been such a privilege, and our Easter and summer holiday traditions with Viv and the kids will continue. I will teach your kids how to hunt and fish, just as you would have done. Vivian, we love you and are here for you forever. Brad and Carl, chin up, my brothers. We will get through this together. Damien, my old mate, we will never forget you. You and Al would keep each other in good company until I get there. No fighting, you two. Thanks.
G'day. My name is Michael Broadhurst. Before I start reading off my bit of paper, I just thought of a yarn. I wasn't going to tell any yarns in this because everyone's got their own yarns, and but pulling in, I remembered the first time I've ever met Damien and Brad was just over here in the showgrounds. It was Wine and Food Festival, and we were lining up for the bus, and the bus was full. So, can't remember which one it was, but one of them said, "Come here, boy, we'll jump in the luggage compartment of this bus and we'll get to the next place." Right, in the luggage compartment at the back of the bus, peeking out the back on the way to the next venue. And I think we spent the whole day together, and we've been bros ever since. I've been trying to think of ways to describe Damien, and we all know his countless great qualities, and we all have our own experiences with our mate. But in the end, the best way I can think to describe Damien is he was the best of us. We all have our stories of how he went out of his way to give a helping hand, whether a simple chat, some advice, a hand on a farm, a pipe that needed fixing. He would stop whatever he was doing and help his mates. And the hundreds of people here today stand testament to the effect that he had on everyone. I want to thank Mandy and John. You should be so proud of the way you raised your boys. Without you, they wouldn't be the men they are today. To Brad and Carl, thank you for being so strong. You two were our leaders over this hard time. Damien was lucky to have brothers as unreal as you, and he knew it too. To Viv, thank you for loving and taking such good care of our mate. He always told me you taught him to stand back and look at any situation with an open mind, and from both sides. You were his rock, and with you by his side, you two could tackle anything. When we talk about Damien's awesome qualities, Viv, you are a mirror image of him. Anything he did, you were there to guide him. He loved you so much, and that wasn't hard to see. No one will ever replace you, my bro. And I'm not sure what we're going to do without you. But because of the way you helped everyone, Now we can finally repay you. I speak for everyone here today when I say your family is our family. Your kids are our kids. I guarantee you there will be a line out the gate whenever you are in need. I'm going to miss you, my bro, but most of all, I'll miss your laugh. I've never hugged a man, any other man, more than you. You are my eldest son's godfather. You meant so much to me and my family, and you will always be my brother. If my kid's grown to half the person you are, mate, I would have done a bloody good job. Lastly, I'd like to thank all Damien's family for letting me speak about our mate. This is by far my biggest honour. I will never forget what you and yours have done for me and mine. I am forever grateful to have just met you, let alone spent thousands of hours laughing, crying, wrestling, fishing, hunting, and just talking on the phone. I love you, my mate, and I will never let your name be unspoken. Thank you.
Lastly, Brad and Carl.
I'm very lucky here to stand here today. I'm very lucky that I could stand here today and say Damien is my older brother. But he was more than a brother, he was my best mate. Growing up as the younger brother of Brad and Damien meant that they paved the way for me through my school life, my tradie life, and now my farm life. Also, and amongst all of these, my party life. And as many of you will know, trying to keep up with Damien was always a challenge and often got me into a bit of trouble. One of those troublesome moments was at Baywatch one year, when I had the bright idea of trying to get onto the stage. From the stage to the cells I went. Damien saw what had happened, turned to Bianca and said, "Don't worry, I'll get him back." Damien to the rescue, arranging a sober driver, convincing the police to release me. He knew one of them, of course. And picked me up from the station just in time for the after party. I'm sure many of you can relate, reflecting on how Damien has been there for you in similar situations. As we progressed into farming, me at Tuahu with Dad and Damien at Tikaraka, our relationship grew. There was barely a day that we didn't talk, whether it be joking about me sending him a daggy lamb, him giving me advice, solving a problem, or telling me what Viv and the kids had been up to. He was always good for a chat. If I was ringing Damien, I knew to hold the phone away from my ear because the combo would start with him whistling or yelling at his dogs. This was him, all go. Damien was the master of juggling many tasks at once, always trying to squeeze everything and everyone in. From kids' sport to organising refs for rugby games, school committees, volunteering as a referee, hunting, diving, fishing, and having a good time. Damien was the definition of hard work, or work hard, play hard. Knowing how full on his life was, I feel lucky to have shared his last Friday night and a busy Saturday morning with him. We played mousetrap with the kids, him getting grumpy that the kids weren't playing properly, then followed by him making me breakfast before we went our separate ways. Little did I know it would be our final time together. It was a goodie. Damien, my brother, what a legend and a laugh you were. Damien would never take long to pick up a new skill, and if he could not pick it up, he would try again. He would never let a man down, a real team player. He always had a solution for problems, and there would be lots of questions and ways to solve them. One of my last jobs with Damien was getting rid of Bathurst burr on his new lease block. This involved cutting, piling it up and burning it. The burning was obviously the good part. I brought some off chainsaw mix from Tuahu. We decided to light a pile with it. He gave me the orders of tipping the mix on the pile, then leaving a trail to start with his diesel burner. I used too much diesel on the pile and only left enough for a short trail. Damien was like, it'll be sweet. The oil will make it slow. Oil will burn slow. This wasn't the case. As Damien stretched his body out to light the trail, boom! The smell of singe caught the air. So cheers, Damien, for the myth busting. I'm proud to say that I gave you the last haircut. From the moment I could walk and talk, I always idolised you. But it wasn't until later in life, witnessing you become an incredible husband and father, that I truly understood your influence. I am immensely proud to call you my brother, and I will carry your lessons with me always. Damien was a community man, and this is reflected in the turnout here today. I am overwhelmed by the love and support that has come out of the woodwork over the past week. Thank you all. Don't worry, brother. I will look after Viv, Maddie and Harvey. Your legacy lives on in them. They will always be loved, and I will make sure they always know how much you love them. Brother, I love you, and I'm going to bloody miss you. This is from Damien, Brad and I's granddad, Dave Withers, and has been said on many special occasions by granddad. I live to live more. I speak to bring inspiration, encouragement and joy. I work to be of service, and in every thought, word and action, my desire is to enrich, enable, and beautify the lives of all who come my way. Tātou, tātou, tātou. My brother for life, Damien. Hi everyone. Obviously I'm Brad. Thank you all for being here today from all parts of the globe. Your presence truly reflects how widely respected my brother was. The love and support we have received over the last few days is a testament to that. Where do I start? Damien was a legend in every sense of the word. If the whole world had a bit of Damien in it, it would just be a better place. Mainly because it wouldn't have blackberry, Bathurst burr and barberry in it. Damien has been tirelessly hacking it all down on his new lease block, and one thing you wouldn't want to be around Damien is a weed, because you wouldn't bloody exist. Another thing you wouldn't want to be in Damien's past would be the kneecaps of a big rugby player. Damien was known as the grass cutter of doom, aka Macpherson's lawn mowing services. We both started playing for Ngātapa as skinny little grommets and put straight out on the wing because of our size, never our skill. I'll never forget the big debut. We were on a bus trip to Wairoa to play Celtic, and on the way down there they played John Lomu's greatest hits on the bus on the TV. Next thing you know, we're out on the field and the ball gets kicked way back, and guess who's there? Skinny young Damien. With John Lomu fresh on his mind, he starts galloping straight down the field at the fastest rate of knots that man could go, and straight into a Jerry Collins lookalike. Whack! The crowd erupted and Damien bounced straight back to his feet and went even harder. And that's how his rugby career continued. He's probably up there right now running it straight at John Lomu. Damien will be remembered for his determination on the field and even more his antics off the field. We both went over to the UK to play for a club team in Sheffield, who are all watching at the moment on the live stream. When I joined Damien in Sheffield for the next season, he had already made himself well known, especially at one of the nightclubs over there. This was very evident when I went up to buy a drink at the bar, and on the back wall featured many photos, a big collage of famous moments in the pub. And there was many photos of Damien up there doing what he does best, being bloody silly. Damien had a lot of guts and stickability, as Grandad used to say. He'd always beat me at school cross countries and other activities which required a lot of determination and a little bit of skill. Growing up with Damien was truly special. He was everyone's go-to person for anything that needed to be done or talked about. Damien was genuinely real. With the physical and mental toughness and his creative nature, it made him unbeatable. He could solve any problem, no matter how broken anything or anyone was. Even rhythm and vines. He was the one to call to fix the most unfixable things, dragging along some of his mates. A tight bunch of humans, our mates, his mates, just a great bunch, who all fitted into his lifestyle. He loved you all. His range of friends was huge. Anyone that spoke to him was his friend. To all those parents who hosted the 21st and weddings, you know it was all a hoot, harmless fun, especially the day after parties when you were trying to get rid of us. But we could see that smirk on your guys' faces. You were enjoying his company, really. Trying to hold those laughs in at the same time as kicking us out. What is everyone up to on the 26th of June next year? We were talking the other night, we could have a demo day. We could make it a public holiday or a festival. There won't be cups of teas there, but if there was, it will be black, no milk. The festival side will be a dag. There'll be some pretty stretchy dance moves. Hey, Viv. And you'll never look out of place. There'll be some pretty cool dress-ups too. We'll just all dress up as Damien would have. When we were all out there searching for you, I knew there was hope I would find you. I knew there was hope that we would find you. You installed such determination and you installed in us the determination and attitude just to get shit done. Carl, you are one of the toughest people I've ever met. Damien would have been so proud of you over those last couple of days and this week we've had together. Viv, like I said in my wedding speech, when you came along, I was a wee bit jealous of you. I could see how much he loved you right from the start. And a lot of people would know that. You two had such a great friendship, and most of all, great love for each other. You meant the world to him. Damien was a loving father. He adored his daughter, even though he would shake his head at some of her antics. And I would be in hysterics because she was just like the both of you. Well, she is like the both of you. Little Harvey, he was so proud of you, and it still is. You're not going to be little for much longer, mate, and I can't wait to have you by my side just like your father was. I'm not going to replace Damien as their father, but I will keep an eye out on them, as I'm sure he still is, to keep these little buggers in line, as they both have our blood in them and I know how to handle him. And so does Viv. To our parents, you are our rock. Look what you have created, a legend. You're the reason he's the person he is, and he'll be spoken about for generations. Now it's time for us to repay you and let you lean on us. It won't be easy, but we know he would want us to keep our chins up, smile and move forward positively. Damien, your absence has left a hole in my life and many others. Talking about you will help fill the void, but I'm going to miss you. You're a part of who I am. You're my twin brother, my best mate, who was always there for me. Carl and I are incredibly lucky to call you our brother. I'm not much of a poet, but I'm going to give it a go. Written by Graham. Brother, we are brothers, together half of one, and will remain together until the job is done. I will do for you what you would do for me. I'm so grateful that it was I who pulled you from the sea. I'm pleased you fought so hard, so valiantly and strong. I knew of course you would, as you have done all life long. I'm pleased it was your happy place, your mates right by your side. I'm pleased you have returned to us by wind and surf and tide. I wish I could have been there despite being forced to stay ashore. Our love and hearts were with you, the weather offered little more. It certainly wasn't right and it certainly wasn't fair, but rest assure you, my brother, as I will be there. I will be the pillar for your children and your wife. Together we will live for you the remainder of our life. Together you and I will do what we've always done. Brother, we are brothers, together half of one. See you on the 26th.
Oh, just give me a minute. Promised I wasn't going to do that, but anyway. Must be an old guy out there with some in his pocket. Right. Just like to say, what a magnificent family. What a bloody magnificent family. Give them a hand. There will be an opportunity at the Patatahi Hall after today's service, and we will have a microphone there, and if any of you would like to share a short tribute, that will be your opportunity. So we look forward to seeing you there. Right, now we're going to see some of the antics Damien got up to. Not all of them.
Heading down south to the land of the pines. I'm thumbing my way into North Carolina, staring up the road and pray to God I see headlights. I made it down the coast in 17 hours, picking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for Raleigh I can see my baby tonight. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Running from the cold up in New England, I was born to be a fiddler in an old-time string band. My baby plays the guitar, I pick a banjo now. Oh, North Country winters keep a getting me down. Lost my money playing poker, so I had to leave town. But I ain't a turning back to living that old life no more. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Yeah, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me. Walking to the south out of Roanoke, I caught a trucker out of Philly, had a nice long toke. But he's headed west from the Cumberland Gap to Johnson City, Tennessee. I gotta move on before the sun. I hear my baby calling my name, and I know that she's the only one. And if I die in Raleigh, at least I will die free. So rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, any way you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Oh, rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me, rock me, rock me.
Excuse me, only looking from the back. If you could all please stand. The family would like you just to reflect for a few moments on how Daman has infected your lives and affected your lives. So if we just have a few moments silence, please. Thank you. As the casket leaves today, if you'd like to follow it out, there's a couple more events that are going to happen outside there. I know you won't all get through the door in time, but no matter which way you go, there will be a haka from the Boys High First 15 as a tribute, and there will be a bark off from the working dogs from the Dog Trial Club. As I said earlier, the family would like you to join them at the Patatahi Hall for refreshments after today's celebration. We've laughed and we've cried today. And it is important that we do both. It's a critical part of the grieving process, and we all need to go through it. We should also cherish the fact that we had Damien in our lives. He was a ray of sunshine in this community, and while he was not here for a long time, he was certainly crammed a whole lot into his 38 years. Damien had a wicked sense of humour, he loved to share a laugh, and he wasn't past playing practical jokes on anyone and everyone. He was a loyal friend and a colleague. His family and friends were very important to him. As you've heard, he was a loving husband and father. His wife and children were more than special. They were his whole being. And while he regrettably missed their growing up and their adventures, he made sure their values were ingrained in their DNA as he and Vivian led by example. During the few days we were all praying for a miracle, as I said earlier, several commentators expressed how well known and respected these young men were. Some even went on as far as to say everyone knew them. As I said, I thought at the time that was an exaggeration. Now I believe that they did. We only need to look around this room today or observe the streams of well wishes at the family homes to see how real that comment is. This community was their home, and we are all the richer for having them in it. Life does go on. It won't be the way it was, and every day we'll have a reminder of that. Grieve not that he is gone, but celebrate that he was here. I know you all feel broken, even when you're trying to be strong. I know your world was shattered, yet somehow you're still going on. You may not feel like it, or even want it, but you, my friends, are healing. It was not always going to be pretty. It's not always going to be peaceful. But next time you look at yourself in the mirror, please remember that you have kept going. And whether that's because you are living in honour of Damien's memory or living a life Damien would be proud to be watching over, or because you simply have no other choice. You're doing it. And I hope some part of you recognises your own resiliency in all this grief. Thank you again for the honour today, and thank you all for showing your respect.
The kids are in town for a funeral, so pack the car and dry your eyes. I know they got plenty of young blood left in them, and plenty nights under pink skies you taught them to enjoy. So clean the house, clear the drawers, mop the floors, stand tall like no one's ever been here before or at all. And don't you mention all the inches that are scraped on the door frame. We all know you tiptoed up to 4-1 back in 08. If you could see him now, you'd be proud, though you think days yuppies. Your funeral was beautiful, I bet God heard you coming. kids are in town for a funeral, and the grass all smells the same as the day you broke your arm swinging on that kid out on the river. You bailed him out, never said a thing about Jesus or the way he's living. If you could see him now, you'd be proud, but you think that